Shalom, 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 shalom. I want to give all praises, glory, and honor to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahushai, Ba'ashem Rakakwadash. Yahweh is the Most High God, and Yahushai is who the world innately calls Jesus Christ. Rakakwadash is the Holy Spirit in the Paleo Hebrew. I want to give double honors to the elder apostles and the elders of Great Millstone who rule well and teach well through the Spirit, the one that they can continue to endure and be sincere. And a mighty shalom to the hopeful elect that are scattered four corners of the earth, teaching His word and believing His word in and out of congregations. Lord willing, the same spirit that they endure and be sincere. And shalom to the Akwatyum that are believers in His faith and His truth, pursuing their lot, which is being a loving and silent and virtuous wife. The one that you can continue to endure and be sincere, and Lord willing, the Most have mercy on the other brothers and sisters that is not in the faith. Today's lesson that you can see on the title of the screen is Everything Under the Sun is Meaningless. And this was all inspired by, reading. And lately this has been on my mind to motivate me more. I guess it should help everybody else that's trying to pursue the kingdom, that everything that we see, everything that we want on this side is meaningless. Of course you want to be rich. Of course you want the wealth. Some men might only desire women. Hey, that's beautiful. But on this side is meaningless. Because the main purpose on this side is serving Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai. A great example is that wisdom Solomon. I was about to say wisdom of Solomon, but Solomon, he had all the wisdom, the wisest men in the world outside of Yahushai. He was able to search the folly and the madness of what we can do. But the Lord allow us to see roles in these scriptures. Of course, my favorite is, being a prophet, apostle, evangelist, a teacher of this word. Because the more that you get into the scriptures, the more you understand it's bigger than what you think. Prophecies, parables, and dark sayings, the milk. Things have been fulfilled before our lifetime and the time that we're in, let alone what we're reaching to. So again, the title of this lesson is Everything Under the Sun is Meaningless. We're going to read through Ecclesiastes, the second chapter, verse 1, all the way to 26. Lord willing, this is edifying and that we can find some type of way to go into some precepts to point out that these things is pointless. is meaningless. But everything that we find in the scriptures is so meaningful. It's so worth it. You know, it's just me rebuking the things of the flesh, because a lot of us get distracted and we hold on to the things of this world so much that eventually we'll get caught. So for the elect that's pursuing their crown, they understand. So Lord willing, this is edifying, and let's get into it. So futility, it means fruitlessness, vanity, pointlessness, uselessness, worthlessness. So everything under the sun that don't point us to Yahweh Bashim Yahushai is fruitlessness, vanity, pointlessness, uselessness. Yes, we use these things, especially money, to provide for our household. But a lot of us is abusing the things of this world. But hey, maybe that's your lot. So Ecclesiastes chapter 2, and it's in the NLT. Futility of pleasures, useless of pleasure, vanity of pleasure. It says, I said to myself, come on, let us try pleasure. Let's look for the good things in life. But I found things too was meaningless. So I said, laughter is silly. What good does it do to seek pleasure? After much thought, I decided to cheer myself with wine. While still seeking wisdom, I clutched at foolishness. In this way, I tried to experience the only happiness most people find during their brief life in this world. I also tried to find meaning by building huge homes for myself, by planting beautiful vineyards. I made gardens, parks, filling them with all kinds of fruit trees. I built reserves to collect water to irrigate my many flourishing groves. I bought slaves, both men and women, and others were born into my household. I also owned large herds, flocks, more than any of the kings who had lived in Jerusalem before me. I collected great sums of silver and gold, the treasure of many kings and providence. I hired wonderful singers, both men and women. I had many beautiful concubines. I had everything a man can desire. So I became greater than all who lived in Jerusalem before me, and my wisdom never failed me. Anything I wanted, I would take. I denied myself no pleasure. I even found great pleasure in hard work, a reward for all my labors. I just want to quote something, a sidebar, how he said, anything I wanted, I could take, because Solomon was a king. Now, Lord willing, I can do this for camp or do a lesson on it. When the kingdom of the Lord comes, yeah, starting with Yahushai and the 144,000, but the elect in general, really the 144,000 of Yahushai, anything we want, we can have, we're going to be able to take, let alone we're going to be in our glorified body, where we're going to fully walk in righteousness. We're not going to commit no sin, and we're going to move and want our heart's desire, and the Lord is going to give it to us, right? But on this side, that's a different matter. So reading again, I'm Salaki, I just had to say that. It says, anything I wanted, I would take. I denied myself no pleasure. I even found great pleasure in hard work, a reward for all my labors. But as I looked at everything I had worked so hard to accomplish, it was all meaningless. It's lucky. It was also meaningless, like chasing the wind. There was nothing really worthwhile anymore or anywhere. So I decided to compare wisdom with foolishness and madness. For who can do this better than I, the king? I thought wisdom is better than foolishness, just as light is better than darkness. This is a beautiful point. Every man and every woman, even children, when they grow up, especially if we're in this faith, we got to teach. the people, let alone our children, our wives, that wisdom is better than foolishness. As an example of light is better than darkness. And that light is another example for wisdom, knowledge, and understanding. Darkness is the example of the world, the broad way. That light is the example of the narrow, right, which still will lead us to Yahweh B'Shem Yahushai. For the wise can see where they are going, but fools walk in the dark. Yet I saw that the wise and the foolish share the same fate. Both will die. Yes, because the fool and the wise are in this carnal body, right? It says, so I said to myself, since I will end up the same as the fool, what's the value of all my wisdom? This is also meaningless. So the wise and the foolish both die. The wise will not be remembered any longer than the fool. In the days to come, both will be forgotten. So I came to hate life, because everything done here under the sun is so troubling. Everything is meaningless, like chasing the wind. I came to hate all my hard work here on earth, for I must leave to others everything I have earned. And so, Salaki, and who can tell whether my successors will be wise or foolish? Yet they will control everything I have gained by my skill and hard work under the sun. How meaningless. So I gave up in despair, questioning the value of all my hard work in this world. Some people work wisely with knowledge and skill. They must leave the fruit of their efforts to someone who hasn't worked for it. This too is meaningless, a great tragedy. So what do people get in this life for all their hard work and anxiety? Their days of labor are filled with pain and grief. Even at night, their minds cannot rest. It is all meaningless. So I decided there is nothing better than to enjoy food and drink and to find satisfaction in work. Then I realized that these pleasures are from the hand of God. For who can eat or enjoy anything apart from Him? Right? Who can enjoy anything apart from Him? This is the point, Lord willing, that we can actually land me and bring some edification. Because the whole chapter just let us know that all that Solomon was able to do with his wealth, his wisdom, and his power, it was all meaningless. Right? Because in the end, Solomon ended up dying too. He gave up the ghost. That's why the kingdom is going to be 400,000 plus more times better. God gives wisdom, knowledge, and joy to those who please Him. But if a sinner becomes wealthy, God takes the wealth away and gives it to those who please Him. This too is meaningless, like chasing the wind. Lord willing, that part was edifying. So I'm going to get something on the side. I guess they're not going to give me what I want, but that's okay. So this point right here, verse 25, who can eat or enjoy anything apart from Him, right? Because it all leads to Yahweh B'Shem Yahushai. Everything outside of the Lord, but everything under the sun is meaningless. Everything, right? So, since that wouldn't give me what I want, we'll flip over and go to 1 Timothy, the 6th chapter. Real quick. Chapter 6. We're going to read verse 6. It says, but godliness with contentment is great gain. Now, when we go into this godliness, I believe it goes into reverence. I think I'm wrong. Yeah, reverence, respect, piety towards God, godliness, right? Holiness, right? Respect, right? This is what we should be content with, right? And in order for us to find what godliness is that will have us content, of course, we got to go into the scriptures, right? But verse 7, it says, "For we brought nothing into this world, and it is certain we could carry nothing out." See? So everything that we would desire under the sun on this side, we can't take it with us, right? We cannot take it with us. So even more, this is why we want to hold on to the things of Yahweh Shema Shai more. It says, "In having food and raiment, let us be therewith content." And we just read that, right? But we want to be more content with just the food and the raiment that we actually have, right? It says, "But they that will be rich fall into temptation and a snare, a trap, and into many foolish and hurtful lusts, which drown men in destruction and perdition," right? And you got to understand, we have a lot of brothers, a lot of Jake throughout our past, all the way to our present, that fell into a trap, a system, where in some cases, a lot of us would do anything just to be rich, right? A lot of us would do anything to have a moment of joy, a moment of pleasure. Years ago, a young man killed his mother just for her life insurance. He enjoyed it for a minute, and then he got caught because he was splurging and shining on social media, and he got arrested. You know, being rich or having the mindset of wealth, and then you actually have it, you will fall in some type of temptation, either a Diddy situation, right? Shoot, you might fall in temptation of trying to murder somebody, right? Because you might have to sacrifice just to get up to another level, right? Shoot, you might do something that's more of a sin, play with the same sex. There's multiple things that we can do, let alone it takes you away from Yahweh Shem Yahushai. But even if you poor and you not seeking the Lord, it can take you away from the Lord, because everything under the sun is meaningless, right? So 1 Timothy 6:10, "For the love of money is the root of all evil, which while some coveted after, they have erred from the faith and pierced themselves through with many sorrows." So earlier, what we read in the beginning of this lesson was Ecclesiastes chapter 2, verse 1 to 26 in the NLT. And Solomon was showing you all the things that he possessed, what he had, what he can't get. He had the power. Anything he wanted, he can take. And anything was given to him. Like if he was like, "Yo, I want your daughter. I want your daughter." He could take it. He was a king. He was in rulership. The Lord wasn't denying him those things. Sidebar, how much more in the kingdom for the men of the Lord? The love of money is the root of all evil. Even more because it will take you away from Yahweh Shem Yahushai. Even more, it will cause you, to fall into temptation. It will cause you to fall into sin. It will make you turn your back from the Lord. Because some people that get money feel like they're a God. That I don't need the Lord. I can do whatever I want. And this is why. That's why when Solomon said, even if I die, he don't know if they're going to be wise or foolish, and they're going to benefit. Rehoboam benefit off of Solomon. He benefit off of Solomon, and he wasn't wise. Let's see if we can find it. I think it is 2 Kings. So I'm trying to make sure. This is 2 Kings 12. First Kings 6. Let's go to First Kings 6. I'm just looking at the physical so I can get straight to the point. Salaki family. I want to get straight to the point. I want to get to the point where he took bad counsel. Yeah, so I guess we'll start at verse 3. This is First Kings chapter 12, verse 3. It says that they sent and called him, and Jeroboam and all the congregation of Israel came and spake unto Rehoboam, saying, Thy father made our yoke grievous. Now therefore make thou the grievous service of thy father, and his heavy yoke which he put upon us lighter, and we will serve thee. And he said unto them, Depart yet for 3 days. Then come again to him, and the people departed. And King Rehoboam consulted with the old men that stood before Solomon his father, while he had lived, and said, How do you advise that I may answer this people? And they spake unto him, saying, If thou wilt be a servant unto this people this day, and will serve them and answer them, and spake good words to them, then they will be thy servants forever. And he forsook the counsel of the old man, which they had given him, and consulted with the young men that were grown up with him, which stood before him. And he said unto them, What counsel give ye, that we may answer this people, who have spoken unto me, saying, Make the yoke which thy father did put upon us lighter? And the young men that were grown up with him spake unto him, saying, Thus shalt thou speak unto this people that spake unto thee, saying, Thy father made our yoke heavy, but make thou it lighter unto us. Thus shalt thou say unto them, My little finger shall be thicker than thy father's yoke. And now, whereas my father did lade you with heavy yoke, I will add to your yoke. And my father have chastised you with whips, but I will chastise you with scorpions. Right? And we could keep on going, but this right here just shows the example of what we read in Ecclesiastes. Let me see if I want more of this. Okay, no, I don't want no more. Right? So we go back to Ecclesiastes. Ecclesiastes 2. Rehoboam didn't get the counsel from the elders. In that moment of a council, when the elders said, Hey, you should listen to these people, you should hearken to them. Right? Because we're in the time right now listening to the elders, right, of wise counsel. Right? So it's something that he said later on in this. Okay, right here in verse 19. He says, Who could tell whether my successors will be wise or foolish? Yet they will control everything I have gained by my skill and hard work under the sun. How meaningless, right? So all that he did is all meaningless because he's not going to know if they're wise or foolish. Look at Rehoboam. He was able to rule everything that Solomon had, man. Then guess what? As soon as he get in office, right, he actually made it hard on Israel. instead of listening to the counsel of the elders, and we would have served them. That's why on this side, it's meaningless to have power and wealth, have a position in this world. It's all meaningless. You know, it's all meaningless. That's why it's more better for us to be content with the things that we actually do have. I got another one. It's in the Apocrypha though. Let me see. Look, and it just show you the precept for it. From verse 14 all the way where we're at. Where did we stop at in this one? I think we stopped at verse 11. So let's see. Verse 14, it says in 1 Kings chapter 12, verse 14, is going back to Rehoboam, what we read already from verse 3 all the way to 11. It says, and followed the counsel of his younger advisors. He told the people, my father laid heavy burdens on you, but I'm going to make them even heavier. My father beat you with whips, but I will beat you with scorpions. So the king paid no attention to the people. This turn of events was the will of Yahweh, for it fulfilled Yahweh's message to Jeroboam, son of Nebat, through the prophet Ahiah from Shiloh, right? Because Jeroboam was going to rule the other 10 of the tribes, while Rehoboam was going to rule Judah. When all Israel realized that the king had refused to listen to them, they responded down with the dynasty of David. We had no interest in the son of Jesse. Back to your homes, O Israel. Look out for your own house, O David. So the people of Israel returned home, but Rehoboam continued to rule over the Israelites who lived in the towns of Judah. King Rehoboam sent Adoram, who was in charge of the labor force, to restore order, but the people of Israel stoned him to death. When this news reached King Rehoboam, he quickly jumped into his chariot and fled to Jerusalem. Right? And to this day, the northern tribes of Israel have refused to be ruled by the descendant of David. When the people of Israel learned that Jeroboam returned from Egypt, they called an assembly and made him king over all Israel. So only the tribes of Judah remained loyal to the family of David, right? Because of course it was prophesied that eventually David throne will be separated and given to somebody that's not a descendant of a descendant of David, Slaki, which is Rehoboam, because he is an Ephraimite, you know. But all is all meaningless, man. Solomon got all this wealth and did all those things, but it was meaningless. This is why time and time again, the Lord tells us to hearken unto him, right? Hearken unto him, right? And later on in this chapter, Solomon says something, which is in the NLT. It says, for who can eat or enjoy anything apart from him, right? But then we seen in 1 Timothy 6, that we should be content with food and raiment, right? It's better for us to be poor, right? To be lowly, to be humble in this thing, right? Let's actually go to it. And then we'll go to the joint that I'm thinking of in Sirach, the 13th chapter. Luke, the 9th chapter, right? Because Yahushua, when he came, and played his role in the earth, he lived in the worst part, Nazareth, right? Which is really the ghetto, the hood. And he didn't have a place to lay his head. He was an example of a poor man too, And he didn't come down being rich because it wasn't his time to have his kingdom. When Yahweh Shai was Solomon through the Spirit. Go read Ecclesiastes chapter 2 in the KJV and in the NLT. Solomon can order wherever he want. The Lord didn't take nothing away from him. Concubines, wives, he has as many as he want. How much more do you think the elect is going to have when the kingdom of heaven comes? They're going to have way more, right? But they're going to have a glorified body. On this side, everything is meaningless. Luke 9:23, he said to them all, if any man will come after me, let him deny himself, take up his cross daily and follow me, right? You got to be humble in this thing. You got to be lowly, right? The Pharisees wasn't lowly, right? The disciples, they left their jobs, their net, their fathers, right? To come serve the Lord. A lot of them in the time of the Acts, they was putting their money together because the main focus was teaching this ministry, man. That's why I said the best position in this word on this side is the apostles, the prophets, the evangelists, the teachers of this word, right? On this side, we couldn't be no king now because it's not the time of the kings no more. Right now is the time of the prophets, apostles, and evangelists. And still, we should be living a simple life just like David, right? Because everything under the sun is meaningless, right? Under the sun is a place of judgment. Ecclesiastes 3, right? So let's get this. So this Sirach, Ecclesiasticus, chapter 13. And let me see where we want to start. Okay, I guess we're going to start at 18. It says, what agreement is there between a hyena and a dog? And what peace between the rich and the poor? As the wild ass is the lion's prey in the wilderness, so the rich eat up the poor. As the proud humiliate, so doeth the rich abhor the poor. Right? The proud hate, humiliate, right? And the rich abhor the poor. A rich man beginning to fall is held up of his friends, but a poor man being down is thrust also away by his friends, right? And guess what? Even when Rehoboam was falling because he took the wrong counsel, he still was held up by his friends, right? But a poor man being down is thrust also away by his friends, right? We're put down what Rehoboam did to us, but really through the Spirit, we was no better with Jeroboam. The northern kingdom and the southern kingdom was no better with Rehoboam. Rehoboam, the southern kingdom king, right? And the northern kingdom king was Jeroboam. They both had us turn away from the Lord. Literally. When a rich man is fallen, he have many helpers, right? Which even the northern kingdom and some of the southern kingdom, but really the northern kingdom had the most kings that was off, right? And when a rich man falleth, he had many helpers. They still had helpers. And those helpers was leading us the opposite way. And these are small examples. You can go to the Pharisees, the Sadducees, right? You could go to these celebrities of today, right? They have many helpers. He speaketh things not to be spoken, yet men justify him. The poor man slip, and yet they rebuke him too. He spake wisely and could have no place. And who will we compare the poor to? The men of the Lord. Haushai, the disciples, the apostles, the prophets, the evangelists, the pastors, the teachers of this ministry, right? The elect lady or the daughters of Zion that's playing a role or trying to play their role, right? It says, when a rich man speaketh, every man upholdeth his tongue, and looketh what he saith. They extol it to the clouds. But if the poor man speak, they say, what fellow is this? And if he stumble, they will help to overthrow him. What happened to Stephen? Right? They stoned him. He was a poor man, but he was a man of Yahweh Bashem Yahushai. In Revelations, the 3rd and 2nd chapter, he know our works. He know that we're rich. We're rich because of the wisdom, knowledge, and understanding. We're rich because of the blood of Yahushai, right? We're really rich because of Yahweh Bashem Yahushai. But really, on the outside or in this society, we were poor, right? It says, riches are good unto him that have no sin, and poverty is evil in the mouth of the ungodly, right? But it's better to be poor on this side, right? Because we have a chance to give more time to the Lord. But again, like Solomon said in Ecclesiastes 2, even the fool and the wise, they both have the same fate. We're all going to die in this flesh. So regardless if I'm righteous, you're unrighteous. What is it? I think it's Wisdom of Solomon, the 3rd chapter, right? They're going to see the righteous fall. They're like, man, this man is righteous, But still, even if you poor, you're still not in the same boat. It's better for us to be lowly and to be of Yahweh Shem Shai. That's why when we went to Timothy, it said godliness. Godliness. That's the number one thing we gotta have in this thing, regardless if you're rich or poor, if you have money or not. But it's better to be content on what you have. You know what? I'm gonna go to that again, and we gonna read it in NLT and see if it delivers to us and hit us again. For anybody that's pursuing to have 6 figures, anybody pursuing to be a millionaire, when you try to be in a society, you're gonna fall tremendously on this side, because you shouldn't hold anything on this side to the highest level. Solomon said it best. Everything under the sun is meaningless. Again, read it for yourself. Ecclesiastes chapter 2, verse 1 to 26 in the KJV and in the NLT. We already read it in the beginning of this video in the NLT. I believe it was a good read. Lord willing, it was edifying to the ones that was watching it earlier and the ones that's going to watch it later on. Right? So, 1 Timothy chapter 6. In the NLT. Starting at verse 6. I just want to make sure that this is okay. Verse 6, it says, actually, let's start up. Yeah, we're going to start at verse 5. It says, these people always cause trouble. Their minds are corrupt, and they have turned their backs on the truth. To them, a show of godliness is just a way to become wealthy. Yet true godliness with contentment is itself great wealth, right? That's the reverence, the respect, or holiness, unto Yahweh Shem Yahushai. That's contentment, right? That's great wealth in the eyes of Yahweh Shem Yahushai. This is a prophet saying this, man. Godliness with contentment is great wealth in itself, man. It says, after all, we brought nothing with us when we came into the world. We can't take anything with us when we leave it. So why do we hold on to everything so high? Right? It's because your oppressors push you onto those things. But since you've been in this world, everybody been working a 9 to 5, and that's not going to make you a millionaire. To go own a business, go get stock, or go be a celebrity where you can sell yourself for less. Be half naked. Go get an OnlyFans, right? Join the porn industry, right? In order to make real money, you're going to have to lose yourself. Eminem, lose yourself in the moment, lose yourself. Let alone half of us that's in working a 5 to 9 or a 9 to 5. Most of y'all, majority of y'all not even giving your time to the Lord. So anything I'm saying is going in one and out the other. Anybody in the lower class It's majority of you. Anybody in the middle class, but it's no more middle class. In a higher class, y'all not devoting yourself to the Lord. And you got people that's in this so-called truth. I say so-called because they're so-called doing it. They're not fully dedicated to the Lord. Most people got their mind ready to debate somebody. They want to get paid to teach, right? They're not being sincere in this thing because they're not truly content, right? Have you ever just are just cool with just paying bills and just coming home? Or yeah, you enjoy yourself with your brothers, but your mindset is always teaching or edifying the flock, being ready to build somebody up, right? Are you preparing your mind for the kingdom? Are you preparing your mind for this place to fall? Solomon said it. He says, I'm going to have the same fate as the fools. Eventually, if it's either the Lord going have a moment where my expiration date, where I die before his coming, right, or before the MOTB, or before Jacob's trouble, or he gonna allow me to endure to the end, and I actually make it to his arrival. But we're all should be working towards the coming of Yahushua. How do you do that? Spiritually and mentally. Your mind is more focused on, is your faith in order? Because when that time comes where you can't hear this word, what you gonna do again? What's gonna happen when Donald Duck is trying to remove the Federal Reserve? And Solomon had wealth to buy this, to make pools, to do this and to do that. A lot of us can only pay rent. Some of us is paying rent and doing this, and we think we got it, but we're using food stamps. We selling food stamps. You buy J's and you're like, man, I gotta save even more. You spend money on for holidays. Come on, man. Let me read verse 7 again. Salaki, I just was feeling a certain way. In the NLT, it says, after all, we brought nothing with us when we came into the world. We can't take anything with us when we leave it. So if we have enough food and clothing, let us be content. But people who long to be rich fall into temptation and are trapped by many foolish and hurtful desires that plunge them into ruin and destruction. For the love of money is the root of all kinds of evil. Not just one, it's the root of all different kinds of evil. Some people craving money have wandered from the true faith and pierced themselves with many sorrows. See? And that's not only people that want to be rich. It's people craving money. It's people craving money. When we go to First Esdras, the 4th chapter, it tell you that all men went at their wits to please a woman. So they stole from people, they robbed, they killed people just to get spoils and bring to a woman. So what else did a man do? Right? People, it says some people craving money have wandered from the true faith. So you got people that's in the truth. It said they wander from the faith. We ain't talking about you niggas that's in Christianity. What about the ones that's saying Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushai? Some brothers is leaving this truth because they crave money. I know a brother that was dissing the brother Daniela that got burnt and had cancer. He said, if it was me, I'll burn him even worse. You know, that dude, I think he ended up leaving and that dude actually got into a car crash later. Like weeks later, got into a car crash and died. I think another brother left the truth and he actually became a rapper and went into the industry. You know, didn't have locks and dyed his hair pink. People that's craving money have wandered from the true faith, piercing themselves with many sorrows. Everything under the sun is meaningless, man. True meaningless. It's meaningless. Meaningless. Everything under the sun is meaningless, man. I think this is in the NLT too. This is Exodus 23:8. It says, take no bribes, for a bribe makes you ignore something that you clearly see. A bribe makes even a righteous person twist the truth. Didn't that man ask, what was it, Peter, can he buy the Holy Spirit? And what Peter say, man, you better repent to the Lord. So let's read this again. It says, take no bribes, for bribe makes you ignore something that you clearly see. A bribe makes even a righteous person twist the truth. There's some people that took that 501c3 and they might twist the truth, which I seen Bishop Nathaniel actually do, where he says Yahweh, and then he was about to say Yahweh Shai, but he stuttered and said Christ. You know, there's certain things that, hey, if you get in this system and get that 5CO3, there's certain things that you can't say. You know, or if they paranoid and think somebody watching them, they're going to change the truth into a lie. Read that for yourself, Ezekiel 23:8, man. Take no bribes, for a bribe makes you ignore something that you clearly see. A bribe makes even a righteous person twist the truth. There's some people that see that MOTB being physical. Hey, if this happened back then, it's happening again. Ecclesiastes 3:4. What is happening now has happened before. Right? Deuteronomy 16:8-19. You must never twist justice or show partiality. Never accept a bribe, for bribes blind the eyes of the wise and corrupt the decisions of the godly. All this meaningless under here. What the heck we want to accept a bribe for? A lot of us don't have the longevity vision of the kingdom, man. A lot of us are too impatient, right? We're too impatient. Too impatient. I think it's Haggai. Is it Haggai? Haggai 1:6. A lot of us is too impatient, man. It says, ye have sown much and bring in little. Ye eat, but ye have not enough. Ye drink, but ye are not filled with drink. Ye clothe you, but there is none warm. And he that earneth wages to put it into a bag with holes. Come on, man. We have to understand that state that we in. Micah 2:10, this is not our rest. All of us is trying to build a foundation. We want a business. All of y'all worried about a business. What's his name? Soldier Boy. He said this one thing. He said, all of us trying to go to Louis, Fendi. All of us want to buy an Xbox and PlayStation, but not one Jake wanted to create their own system. I only seen Soldier Boy do it. A lot of us is still programmed. A lot of us is not trying to get out of program, like the Matrix. A lot of Jake, oh man, I love the Matrix, but they kind of contradict themselves because they always want to stay stuck in the Matrix, but don't want to get plugged out of the Matrix. Again, just showing. This is amazing, man. Yahweh Shema Shai's word hits in so many directions, and it's always edifying. You know, futility of pleasure, futility, pointlessness or uselessness, fruitlessness, vanity, pointlessness, right? And these are the same ones they set up here: uselessness and worthlessness. Fruitlessness is the same example of somebody being in the world, right? And it's fruitlessness because the Lord really created us to be fruitful in this thing and plant seeds, right? But when you want the things of this world, you want to seek your pleasure of the flesh, right? Hey, and I know a lot of us love sex, salaki, for the ears, but a lot of us put that pleasure for sex over Yahweh Shem Yahushai. A lot of us put a woman over Yahweh Shem Yahushai. You know, hey, women the same. What it says in First Corinthians, the 7th chapter. You know, a man get a wife and put her before Yahweh Shem Yahushai. A woman get a husband and she put, her duties and her love for her husband before Yahweh Shem Yahushai. Even though it's a role that has to be, but in some cases, some of us is not built it up in the faith. That's why a man would put order in his household, so everybody is putting the Lord first. So when you do have your fun pleasure moments, regardless if it's watching a movie or putting your feet in the sand, right? You're doing your duties of Yahweh Shem Yahushai first. Because a true believer of the Lord, their first pleasure is in Yahweh Shem Yahushai, and that's fruitful, that's useful, that's meaningful. The first verse in Ecclesiastes 2:1 in the NLT, I said to myself, come on, let us try pleasure. Let's look for the good things in life. But I found that this too was meaningless. Let's try pleasures. Let's look for the good things in life. What did the Kanye West say in the song? This the good life. You know what I wanted as a kid, I wanted to be on TV. And I pursued it, I thought, and I had a chance. But technically I didn't, because the Lord changed that opportunity. He seen something in me that I didn't see in myself. But I did not know the truth. I didn't know that it was a lie in this world. And really, this is for me. Instead of it just only being for me, I wanted to do this for y'all too. I was edified reading it, thinking of precepts in my head. I didn't go all the way into it in this video, but to me, it hit me. And I'm like, you know what? Maybe somebody else need to hear this that's pursuing a bag, especially you sisters and even you brothers. This side right here and the things that they're offering is not beneficial for us, because the more we drown ourselves in it, it takes us away. Like I teach my kids, when they go to school, or outside of it, they're not drawn to learn of Yahweh Shem Yahushai. It's always play, video games, twerking, tap, funny, goofy. But yes, they're kids. But if we go in the ancient world, they didn't have these things that they have now. And most children, even women, and a lot of men was drawn to the Lord. And we only talking about believers. Before Yahushua came into play, and when he was into play, you even had kids that was cleaving to the Lord, man. But now, kids, teenagers, grown-ups, men, but first women, they're not attracted to this, man. Women will be like, oh, I want a man that teach me. Get a man of the Lord. Oh, man, no, this is too hard. I can't do this. I can't dress like that. This is too hard, because a lot of people are choosing meaningless things over Yahweh Shem Yahushai. I'm going to read verse 1 again. This is in the NLT, Ecclesiastes 2:1. I said to myself, come on, let us try pleasure. Let's look for the good things in life. But I found that this too was meaningless. This is meaningless, man. Everything under the sun is meaningless, man, except for the wisdom, knowledge, and understanding of Yahweh Shem Yahushai. This is the best thing that we have, right? So let me get this, and I'm going to just close, because I can keep on going with this one. I might continue to keep doing series, I don't know, on meaningless, to rebuke the flesh of all of us, man. Because these lessons is not just for one person, two persons. This is for all the ones that want to believe. The 2/3, you ain't gonna never get this. So this is not for you. This is never for you. So I'm gonna read this in the KJV. This is some history. I love the history. Got to get back into it. Sharpen up even more. This is Chronicles, the 16th chapter. And I'm going to start at verse 10. It says, glory ye in his holy name. Let the heart of them rejoice that seek Yahweh. Seek Yahweh his strength. Seek his face continually. Remember his marvelous works that he have done, his wonders and the judgments of his mouth. Guess what? A lot of people fail all three of these verses, and they say they got a relationship with the Lord. Lord willing, I could do that lesson today. A lot of people say they have a relationship with the Lord, and they can remember none of his marvelous works, his wonders. Matter of fact, they can't even remember his name, right? They're not even drawn, right? Yes, you might say Yahweh, Yahuwah, but have you dug deep and found the name Yahweh, Yahweh Shai, right? And throughout the scriptures, we know it says only the nation of Israel, his name is found. And there's so many other nations saying Yahuwah, Yeshua, Yahweh, Jesus, God, and Lord. But when you really look on YouTube and other places, you only see Black, Latino, Hispanics as a whole saying Yahweh and Yahweh Shai and the Rakakwadash. You don't see Elam. You don't see Esau. You don't see nobody as a bulk of a whole nation saying Yahweh, Yahweh Shai. Right? I even seen an Edomite one. Salaki. I seen one Edomite in the video said the Lord's true name, which the Hebrew Israelite, found it out. His ancient true name is Yahweh, Yahweh Shai. I seen one Edomite confess that the true name of the Lord is Yahweh, Yahweh Shai, not those other names. But his video was just saying that the true Israelites, the true Jews, is the so-called black man. Most people always identify the black man, the Jamaican, and the Haitians as the Jews. A lot of people ain't getting into the Northern Kingdom, right? But it's really the men of the Lord that's bringing forth, the Northern Kingdom, who is the Hispanics, the Latinos, and the natives, regardless if you don't or you do accept it, right? But at the end of the day, this is right here. This is meaningful. These three verses, which should lead you to the whole volume of the whole book. I said that was the last one. Let's see if it just give me the verse. I know we got Hebrews 12 and 7, I believe. Yeah, no, Hebrews 10 and 7. This is Psalms 40 and 7. It says, then said I, lo, I come in the volume of the book. It is written of me. So for the correction, Hebrews 10 and 7. Then said I, lo, I come in the volume of the book. It is written of me to do thy will, O God. Right? Yahweh Shai come in the whole volume of the book. We can find many examples. This is meaningful. Everything else under the sun, I don't care how you feel, a wig, weave, makeup, BBLs, man, hey, having multiple women, hey, even if I got two or whatever, all of that is meaningless. If you're not abiding in the word, the wisdom, knowledge, understand the Lord, all that shit is meaningless, man. Right? Threesomes, money, smoking all that damn weed. Oh, I'm on TV. I got a rap album. Oh, you know what? I'm making truth music. All that shit is meaningless, man. All of it. All of it is meaningless if you're not abiding in the words and the wisdom and knowledge and understanding of the Lord. Right? More people should be promoting the word more than promoting fights and all this other stuff, man. Right? Because everything outside the truth is a distraction, man. Even sports is a distraction. Got to cut ties with some of this social media because, of course, we're getting drained. But the more that you see Trump and the things now, it's time for us to keep growing and changing more and more. This is not about us getting close to the times and the vibe, right? This is about you being more set apart from this place, man, right? Time to cleave on to things that's meaningful and separate from things that's meaningless. Lord willing, this is edifying to the ones that actually believe and the ones that want to grow. And if not, hey, that's okay. We're going to continue to keep pushing this word to the best of our ability. I want to give all praises to the one true power, the only power is Yahweh, Ba'ashim Yahushai, Ba'ashim Kakadash. And definitely double honors to my elders, the elder apostles, the elders of Great Millstone who rule well and teach well. Mighty Shalom to the hopeful elect, whoever you may be. Teach this word and believe in this word for corners of this earth. Teaching this truth and believing in this word. Definitely Shalom. To the Akwat believers in his faith and his truth, continue to pursue your lot, which is being a loving and silent and virtuous wife. Lord, will you continue to endure and be sincere? Shalom. And Lord, will you must have mercy on the other brothers and sisters that's not in the faith. Shalom. Shalom.